So Dogecoin has been one of the coins that has made headlines in 2021, towards the end of 2020 especially. Everybody was talking about Dogecoin. And if you didn't get in on Doge, you were basically seen as like a loser. If you questioned the fact that people were buying something that was created as a joke and had no utility or real value, if you questioned that, you were a loser. You were weak, paper-handed, and you didn't understand investing. But now, as of today, July 15th, my mom's birthday, happy birthday, Mom, Dogecoin is priced under 19 cents. Now, everyone was saying Dogecoin was going to the moon. Remember? $1, $5, $10 price targets based on nothing. Those price targets came based on nothing. There was no previous technical analysis to look at. There was no previous price action to judge and see if it could actually reach that level. That percentage of gain to see it go from $1 or to $5 or to $10 from 7 cents, that big potential 1,000, 10,000% gain just blinded everyone in their analysis. Instead of people saying, hey, number one, does this have real utility? Is this something that I want to own for the long term? Number two, if Bitcoin goes down, which it did, will it pull Dogecoin down as well? No one asked that question. People were ignorant to that as well. So both of those questions, I think, could have saved you a lot of money. And in this little clip, I want to talk about the price action of Dogecoin. But first, let's look at this Bloomberg piece. It says the creator of Dogecoin made a brief statement in order to blast all of crypto. Jackson Palmer is one of the creators of the most valuable jokes of all time. Back in January 2018, he wrote an article for Vice about his creation of Dogecoin, noting that it had a $2 billion valuation, which represented something very strong. Welp, let's fast forward to today. Although its price has retraced substantially from its highs earlier this year, the total value of all Dogecoin is now $26 billion. And again, that's with a massive plunge from its highs. Palmer isn't heard from much today. He rarely tweets or talks about crypto, but yesterday, he briefly reappeared to point out that he has nothing new to say other than it's largely a sham based on right-wing, hyper-capitalist values to enrich the very wealthy. That's what he thinks crypto is, a sham based on right-wing hyper-capitalist values to enrich the wealthy. Here's the thread. Jackson said, I'm often asked if I will return to cryptocurrency or begin regularly sharing my thoughts on the topic again. My answer is wholehearted no. But to avoid repeating myself, I figure it might be worthwhile to briefly explain why. After years of studying it, I believe that cryptocurrency is inherently a right-wing, hyper-capitalistic technology built primarily to amplify the wealth of its proponents through a combination of tax avoidance, diminished regulatory oversight, and artificially enforced scarcity. I don't think I would disagree with him there. I don't think he's that far off. Despite claims of decentralization, the cryptocurrency industry is controlled by a very powerful cartel of wealthy figures who, with time, have evolved to incorporate many of the same institutions tied to the existing centralized financial system they supposedly set out to replace. So what he's saying is the idea that it's decentralized isn't real because it's a very small group of people at the top, the cartel, the whales, whatever you want to call them, that are controlling majority of the cryptocurrency transactions. For example, yesterday I watched Graham Stephan's new video talking about Dink Doink, which I had never even heard of. That's a cryptocurrency being pumped by Logan Paul and some other influencers that, if you look at it, and CoffeeZilla broke down who owns Dink Doink, and its 3 wallets own more than 30% or more than 50% of the entire Dink Doink float. So when you look at the Bitcoin wallet holdings or you look at the XRP wallet holdings, remember, we don't know whose wallet holds what and who controls each wallet. You could see 5 separate wallets at the top that could all be controlled by the same corporation or same person or same group of people that are doing things intentionally with their large supply of the coin to drive market prices. That's what the cartel would mean. That's what he means. It's big group at the top owning most of the asset, manipulating the price for their gain. That's what Jackson is saying here. He says the cryptocurrency industry leverages a network of shady business connections, bought influencers, and pay-for-play media outlets to perpetuate a cult-like get-rich-quick funnel designed to extract new money from the financially desperate and naive, which is what I just said. You have these influencers like Logan Paul pumping cryptocurrency. I think it was, what's her name? The porn star. What's her name? Fuck. Lana Rhoades. She was pumping some coin. She was paid to pump, you know? Now, this comes after, if you guys remember, yesterday I told you, I broke the news that TikTok is banning branded content about trading Forex, trading crypto, trading stocks. They don't want any brands to be able to pay Lana Rhoades or Logan Paul to say anything about it. You can still go on and share your opinion if it's not branded content, but there's no longer influencers pumping that stuff on TikTok, which I'm a big fan of. I'm glad that they cracked down on that. Let's read the rest of this thread here. Financial exploitation undoubtedly existed before cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrency is almost purposely built to make the funnel of profiteering more efficient for those at the top and less safeguarded for the vulnerable. Cryptocurrency is like taking the worst parts of today's capitalistic system with corruption, fraud, and inequality, and using software technology to limit the use of interventions like audits, regulation, and taxation, which serve as protection for the everyday people like you and me. Lose your savings account password? Your fault. Fall victim to the scam? It's your fault. Billionaires manipulating markets? They're geniuses. This is the type of dangerous free-for-all capitalism cryptocurrency was unfortunately architected to facilitate since its inception. Now it says here, of course, there are going to be detractors who argue that he's just resentful, that he built this ultra-valuable joke and it never cashed in. In his Vice piece, he talks about stepping away and giving up his coins back in 2015. And it says, obviously, there are many in the community who believe the exact opposite, that crypto is going to be an egalitarian force. And they'll point to what's going on in El Salvador and other emerging markets where holders use the asset as a way to avoid failing currencies. So let's think about this for a second. The guy that created Dogecoin is saying this is perpetuating inequality, it's perpetuating criminal activity, and it's perpetuating this funnel of people at the top taking advantage of people that are naive and just getting in with smaller money. Big money eating smaller money. And again, he acknowledges that that happens in our current financial system with the way Wall Street currently runs and the way that hedge funds and the big banks orchestrate prices and fix prices for themselves. Remember, go back. I love that we do so much news here, and I hope you guys do as well. Hit the thumbs up if you do, so I know that you like it. But if you go back to earlier this week, we talked about how the cartel, right? Just like here, he talks about a cartel. The cartel was a group chat between bankers at HSBC, JP Morgan, Citibank, Goldman, and there was one other Japanese bank. And they were all working together to fix the foreign exchange market so that the banks could profit on those small changes in price, and they would work together to pump each other up. Where the rest of us that are trading Forex just get eaten up in that if we don't know that it's going on and we don't know how to work around it. So I think you're seeing that here, at least with this article, to me, the guy that started the coin, if he comes out and says something like this, it should definitely throw red flags. If we turn and look at the price action of Dogecoin, you can see 2021, when we started, April here, you can see it dropped down to about 17 cents, but then made its full move here up 320% just from the 13-cent level. It was actually available to buy on other brokerages at an even cheaper price. So it went up over 500%, now falling back down almost to that exact same price that I just quoted, about 18 cents. To me, this was a no-brainer. You can ride that hype, but when the technical analysis here on May 21st said to get out of it because the 8 and 21 EMAs crossed down. Look, they've stayed crossed down. The 8 EMA has stayed under the 21 EMA. That was your chance to get out. Whether you got in at 15, 16, 20, 25, 30, this was your chance to get out at 35, at 40 cents. That was your warning sign. If you look, remember the date here, May 21st, 2021. Look at Bitcoin. What happened on May 21st, 2021? I should say right before. Here's May 21st. That's when Bitcoin was at 40,000. Just a few days before that, on May 12th, Tesla stopped accepting Bitcoin, and that sent Bitcoin spiraling lower through the 50 EMA using this, what we would call a D2 setup based on this bearish divergence, sends it spiraling lower, sending market sentiment into the sell zone for the first time since 2020, showing that bears are in control. That then happens just a few days before the Dogecoin death cross of the 8 and the 21 EMAs. So to me, Bitcoin, again, like I said at the beginning of this clip, is like the leading indicator for other cryptos. Still, they're all still tied very closely to Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin broke down here, that was even more of an early warning sign. Think about it like that. If you were looking at Bitcoin on May 12th, go look at Dogecoin on May 12th. Where was it? Right here. 40 cents, 45 cents, even more of a reason to think about getting out there. But everybody had their eyes set on, oh, it was just at 75 cents. It's going to be at $1. Then it's going to be at $5. So to me, I think what everyone just needs to be aware of is cryptocurrency as a whole is not going anywhere. We know that. Whether Bitcoin is the currency of the future or it's a savings asset like digital gold, whatever you want to say, that's all up for speculation still. Nothing is set in stone. But for sure, just like what happened in 2001, where every company was putting .com on their ticker and their stock would spike, and companies were just popping out of nowhere. They would pop to $300 a share and pop right back down to zero and die. The same thing is going to happen here with cryptocurrencies, and Dogecoin is just one of many examples of that. And it's going to continue to happen. This is nowhere near over when it comes to these altcoins being pushed and then coming back down to their original true value, which in my opinion, Dogecoin's probably headed to 0.000 something, which is where it started, which is where it should be, because it's a joke. And just let the people that want to buy it, but it's got to be worth fractions of a penny, in my opinion. Albert brings up a good point. The Bitcoin being legal tender there now makes it easier for the drug dealers and the bad criminals in that country of El Salvador to use Bitcoin. It actually exacerbates, enhances criminal activity in a way, making that tender legal. Tibor, I need to look that up for academic purposes.